Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, here we go through a Monday, and the world is getting crazier as by the second here, if we will. We all knew that upon the election of Donald Trump and upon the kick to the curb that Joe Biden got, that Biden was going to do whatever he could to make the country as screwed up as possible. So Trump couldn't do anything, all right? Now to go through this. A couple of weeks ago, we got the blanket pardon for Hunter Biden, right? You know, from January 1st, 2014 to December 1st, 2024, which includes the Burisma time. Any crimes that Hunter Biden committed, he's now been pardoned for. So his gun crime, his tax crimes, his embezzlement crimes, his selling of influence crimes, his corruption crimes, his drugs, everything, prostitution, kiddie porn, you name it, okay? Hunter's now been exonerated for all of them, because daddy said so. So then in the last week or so, we've heard about the blanket pardons that Biden is planning on giving out, or at least considering. Tony Fauci, Adam Schiff, Mark Milley, Liz Cheney. You can guarantee that there's going to be Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, anybody that is in the inner circle, if you will, of the Democrat corruption machine is going to get some sort of blanket pardon. Okay, and again, Joe has now set this precedent that I can just turn back the clock and say, anytime, anything they did, they're pardoned for. Now, the catch with that one is, the way I see it, is if you're pardoned for something, that means you have to admit you engaged in criminal activity. So let's say he pardons Nancy Pelosi. Does that mean she's going to have to finally admit to insider trading? Or if we pardon Mark Milley, does that mean that he's going to finally have to admit that he's an agent of China? Do we have to, once we pardon Adam Schiff, does that mean he has to admit to be Satan's spawn? I mean, figure this out, right? This is what we've got going on. When the election happened a month ago, the two biggest things that the American public voted to change were our economic policies and the southern border. Those were number one and number two, okay? On pretty much every exit poll across the country, those were the issues that people were most concerned about. There is a story today coming out of Washington here. Biden, the suggestion has been made. How far it goes, I don't know. And I'll link it below so you guys can read it. That Biden should issue a blanket pardon, again, like he did for Hunter, to each and every illegal alien, or as they call them, undocumented immigrants. Now we know Trump has already nominated, appointed, whatever you want to call it, Tom Homan to be the border czar. And Homan has already done more in 4 weeks than Kamala Harris did in 4 years, at least saying what he's going to do. Biden wants to unilaterally, under powers, this is not an executive order, this is something that he could feasibly do. Whether the constitutionality of a blanket pardon is legal, that we don't know yet, okay? Hence the same thing with Hunter Biden's. But can you imagine the day he leaves office at 11:59 on January 20th, Joe Biden signs a pardon for each and every illegal in this country and says, you're now legal. This is what is being suggested. Don't think for a second that it won't be considered, because multiple reasons. They want to handcuff Trump. They want to keep the illegals in the country. They want to potentially, as they think they will, boost the Democrat base, and they want the census to include a whole lot more potential Democrat voters. And again, like I've said before, remember this. One of the things Trump tried to do last time, and inevitably he's going to try to do this time, is that the census only counts citizens, which it should, okay? Where are all these illegals going? Well, they're going to California, Colorado, New York, Massachusetts, Illinois. Most of them, that's where they're being sent to or going to, because that's where all the freebies are, which means all those states now are going to have bigger populations, which means they get more congressmen, because congressmen is based on population, House of Representatives, and they get more electoral votes, because that's also based on population. Okay? 2030 census by the time all this runs. We'll have a change in the Electoral College. This is their plan. If Biden can somehow, with the stroke of a pen, make 11 million to 20 million, roughly, we don't even have anywhere near an exact figure. I mean, think of that spread. Illegals, all suddenly, they haven't committed any crime. What's Trump and Homan said they're going to do first? We're going after the criminals. Well, all-encompassing, that's every single one of them, because the very first step they took on American soil was committing a crime. Now, sure, they're going to say, and I agree, go after the murderers, go after the gang rapists, go after the people with criminal records, go after the gang members, etc., etc., etc. Sure, you got to start somewhere. But then you get all these cities and states, you know, California, Colorado, Chicago, Boston, all saying, we're not going to assist in Tom Homan or ICE or anybody rounding up all these criminals and getting rid of them. This is a way that Biden could now say, these people aren't criminals. No, you don't have to give them over to ICE. And this now makes the entire country different. Then you get the opposite side, which is what's been presented in Missouri. And if you guys caught this one, and this kind of goes to what I said months ago. Maybe somebody watches my channel in politics. I don't know. I got a good idea or two, I think. Missouri's got a bill up right now promoting this idea, that there is a $1,000 bounty, which is funny because that's the exact dollar amount I said, on every illegal, and that the state will deputize people to go collect these bounties. Now, the downside is the only people that, according to the bill, it's not law yet, that could be deputized are bail bondsmen and licensed bounty hunters. I don't know what the criteria is to become a bounty hunter in Missouri. I know in some states you have to have a law enforcement background or something. Don't know what it is. If you live in Missouri and you want to look it up, go look it up. This is the difference that we have. The Biden administration is going to come out, or potentially going to come out, let me qualify that, and say, with the stroke of a pen, everybody who's here illegally is no longer illegal. We've given them a pardon. They have no longer committed a crime. So unless they have robbed a convenience store, raped a woman, killed somebody, took over an apartment complex, engaged in human trafficking, who knows, okay? If they just wanted to come over here, they can come over here. Well, here's the problem, okay? Now you've just given carte blanche for everybody to come through, and now this would mean that Congress does not have a law. They can't overturn a pardon. The only one that could feasibly overturn a pardon is the Supreme Court. And the only way they could do that is if the pardon was unconstitutional. I mean, there are certain things like treason is not pardonable. This one is going to be real interesting. If Biden actually pulls this one off, guys, it's going to be real interesting, because now all those illegals that are running through our street, now they don't have to hide from the cops. Now they can say, I'm here, Joe said so, and you can't do anything about it. Get ready for that. Doesn't mean they can get a job. Doesn't mean they're going to pay taxes. Doesn't mean they're going to have insurance on their car when they hit you. Okay? It just means they're allowed to be here. And there ain't a damn thing we can do about it. Supreme Court, I hope you're listening. Congress, I hope you're listening. Donald Trump, Tom Homan, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, I hope you can do something about this, because this will be the legacy that Joe leaves. I succeeded where Barack Obama failed. I managed to destroy the United States. That's Joe's legacy. Pinball out.